But that's nice.
Yeah.
Prashant, TriVedi,
Yes.
we are sitting in your garden in London.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes. Nice to have you.
Your name means something like very peaceful.
In Sanskrit, yes. Yes.
Why did you choose that name?
I didn't choose this name. It's the name given to me by my parents. I have not changed my name. So Prashant TriVedi is my normal name. Like Prashant is the name given by them, and TriVedi is the surname of the family I come from. So both are actually not changed by me. Nothing to do with me. A lot of people change their names, but I didn't do it. So it was pre-planned, and it was part of the plan. You can say like that. It has to be like that. So
Yes, but is it really pre-planned? Isn't it like this that the choices we makes our own destiny, or what?
yes, that is the case once we grow older and the consciousness to make choices, and then we start making choices like when you are adults, like, right? But where you were born, which family you were born into, that was not in your hands, right?
Okay.
Who are your parents, and all of that has never been in anyone's hands out here. So obviously the choice and the conscious action starts up at a certain age, like when you become conscious, like with 4, 5, 6, 7, 18, where you become mature and all of these things, so it is a thing like obviously you have to make conscious actions in the present to make the future, but your present is decided by the past decides the present actions decide the future.
Could we then say that the choices you make during life,
Yeah.
that every choice has a consequence,
Yes.
and in that way we are forming our own destiny?
Future. Yes.
Okay. The book we are talking about today is Scriptures for the Now.
Yes.
It has been translated to many languages around the world,
Yes.
now in Norwegian too.
Yes.
What is Vedic knowledge?
Okay. I mean, like we are staying in the creation, right? Like this, people can call it a universe, or in Sanskrit, this Brahman, or you can call it whatever you want. We are in a construct. We are inside something, right? We have something around us. Okay, we are inside. We are beings inside something. Okay. So when this thing creation was created, like the whole thing, it was created on some set of rules. Any structure is based on some basis. It has a basis, right? Okay. It's just like an operating system right now. Your laptop, computer works on an operating system. It can be Unix, it can be Linux, it can be Windows, it can be anything. There's a base operating system to everything, like modern world, like in the computers. So same way, the Unix for this Brahman, this universe, is the way. Okay, it's the basic core structure. How does it actually apply to us in the present? I've simplified that, so that's where the book comes in, and because finally we have a human body, right? Like we just have this one tool machine, like, and we have to use this tool, right? And how to use this tool and what to do with this tool, that's also basically, when you buy any equipment and stuff, it comes with an instruction manual, how to operate this camera or how to operate this thing, right? Like everything comes with an instruction manual, but our body sadly doesn't. With the mother's womb, there's not an instruction manual along with the body, how to use this technology, how to use this. So the Vedic has that instruction manual, and I'm just bringing it in front of the world, instruction manual, basically.
But this Vedic knowledge led up to Hinduism eventually.
Yes.
What is the difference between living after the Vedic rules and living after Hinduism? Is it possible to explain that?
Yes. Yes. The thing is, any knowledge when gets distorted, right? Vedic knowledge has gotten distorted everywhere. Okay. In India, it took form of Hinduism. Okay. In some other place, it will become Aztec, Mayan civilization. In other places, it will become Egyptian. Okay. In other places, it will become the Nordic. All the mythology. Okay. Because the characters are the same everywhere. In all of those things, the main characters are everywhere, all over the earth. They are same. Okay. And those characters are in Vedic texts first, all of them. So obviously it got distorted and the parts remain here and there. So Hinduism is another offshoot, a distorted offshoot of the Vedic thing.
I see.
Yeah, just like everything else is, So it's the same all over the world. So like point is to remove the distortion and just get back to the actual core basic things anywhere in the world. And where there's any kind of ism right now, Buddhism, anything, they're all distortions of Vedic, all of them. Like it's not a single thing, Judaism or whatever, like everything is the distortion of Vedic. So,
you are writing about the individuals,
yeah.
About being grounded,
Yes.
finding balance.
Yes.
How do we do that in this world?
Right.
It's a big question, I know.
And I mean, it's a very simple thing, like for example, you have grass and ground, and right, like grass is softness. People can touch the feet on it, right, rather than being in shoes or that things all the time. So that's all. Something like there are trees around. You can touch them because human body is electrical equipment, basically, actually, in reality. And in houses we have, the third pin, which is grounding pin for all the electrical equipment. So, and for that, like, grounding goes down into deep, they put a copper thing inside and the wire goes into that. Why do they do that? Because electrical equipment need grounding, all of them. Otherwise your TVs and other things will suffer, Same way, like human body is electrical equipment as well. So you have to ground it sometimes, So that's just basic common sense to do that kind of thing, which people in older times used to do that, like naturally, because they were living outside more, So,
yeah, well, it's the point then that we have lost contact with Earth, for example.
Yeah.
Is that the point?
Yeah, that is also, that is the point, like psychologically, but practically, physically also, you can start, like, because human body is a practical physical thing, and it's electrical equipment practically, like, so it actually needs grounding. And if you don't ground, your mind goes crazy, and that's where a lot of mental problems and mental issues of the modern world come into play. People are saying they're having such a tough time with their mind, with the excess electrical charge, which is surging here and there, so. Yeah.
Well, teach me then, how do I manage to ground? What do I have to do?
Yeah, first you just take out your shoes and stand on the earth. That's all. It's very simple. Like, I mean, it's not a very hard thing to do.
What happens when you do that?
What happens is that just like your electricity goes into ground, so whatever excess charge is there's a synergy between earth and you. People call it Schumann resonance, people call it different terms right now, but it actually takes off the excess that thing. For example, if you eat, right, then you have to go somewhere to take out the excess, right? Right? There are different things. So there's a charge excess also in the body. Okay, so that has to be gotten back into the earth. It has to be done. It's just like a manual for, like I said, using the human body. Which doesn't come. People are not told, like in school you're not told this, like that you have electrical body. Do they tell you that at school? That your body is electrical equipment?
But what you're really saying is that we have lost this connection then. Every individual has lost the connection with the ground. Yeah. Why have we done that? Why it's gone so far?
Yeah, it's a thing, like in the beginning it appears all good, right? Okay, it's a name of comfort, it's a name of modernism, it's a name of like, we are going ahead, we are going further, we are like improving, or like there is a whole evolutionary thing which is showed for people, like that if you do this you'll evolve, you'll become something better, but that is what the carrot which is given, but that's not the case actually, because if you lose touch with the ground, you lose common sense. There's a thing called grounded sense, common sense. So when you lose that, to go upwards is not possible, because that is the basis of the whole thing, Even you have to reach the sky, you have to have feet on the ground, like even if your head in the sky, they say, like you have to have the feet on the ground, like, right? So because that connection is most important. That's how this creation is created, like there are rules for this creation, like there are rules for any device. Like if in this device everything is not exactly right, things won't work right inside the circuit. Everything has to be just right for something to work. In the same way, we have a creation, we have everything which works on certain principles, and human body also is a machine and it also works on certain principles. So people have to understand that, like basic things, and that should be basic education, right, for every human being, because every human being has a human body, right? Every human being has a human body, so they have this instrument and they should know how to use this instrument. And that should be basic education at school, right? That should be the first thing people learn from age of 4 or 5. That should be the. Yeah.
Is it correct to say that this is a forgotten knowledge? Is it forgotten during times?
Yeah, it's forgotten because it's not, again, like it's not part of the mass consciousness, it's not part of the education system, it's not part of the way things are run on this earth right now. That's why it's forgotten. So, because it's not part of it anymore. It's just like, it's been eliminated. It's just saying it's not required, it's not necessary. Yeah.
Why is that? Because of greed? Because of we want to be famous? We want to be rich? Why?
No, it's the thing starts from like, like there are like a lot of people on the ground level on earth, they don't decide anything. Okay, there are always people who have been like kings and that things and governments and things at the top. There are few people who decide the course of most of the people, right?
So we're trapped then.
Yeah. So those few people are deciding how everyone is going to live, what everyone is going to do, right? So it's up to those few people whether they want an educated humanity or they want just slaves which they can control easily, and so it's the problem lies there actually, and because masses will just follow like whatever the thing is from the top, like what is called media, what's called so many things, you can call it in this world right now, but it is just messages from the top basically. Yeah.
You are a guru.
Yeah, it's a term, it's a Sanskrit term for a being which gives knowledge, like to beings. Yeah.
How do you become a guru?
I mean, you don't become a guru, you first try to learn things for yourself first, and once you've learned, you can teach others what you have learned, just like in anything, like for example, if a craftsman learns how to cut wood or make something, a furniture out of it, right? Like he learns first and then he can teach some other people how to do it, right? So that's also a teacher, so it's the same way, like this is like a basic knowledge which is beyond these kind of things, which is to do with the human body and how to live life on earth so that you evolve, so that you go higher and your future is better basically. Yeah, like your future is not full of pain and misery, that's the whole point.
But your environment is calling you divine.
Yes. Yes.
Does that mean that you are represented God?
See, it's not about divine is a term which is an English term for. It's a very scientific term actually. Like all the nature you see around here is based on phi ratio, golden ratio, which is Fibonacci ratio 1.618. Okay, that's what. So whenever things are reaching that ratio, closer to that ratio, you call it divine. Okay. Now, like human being also has a potential to reach this ratio, closer to the ratio. Then people say that you have a heart of gold, or what is a heart of gold? Means your heart is closer to phi ratio, that your heart rate, that thing variability is tending towards phi ratio. Okay, so that is divinity actually, and the more you reach towards that, okay, the more closer to divine you get in this construct. Okay, so that is the main thing here, that these are all actually realistic scientific concepts, real science I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the fake science which is taught at school, I'm talking about the real science, so these terms like God, have created a lot of confusion in people, generator, operator, destroyer, like G for generation, O for operation, D for destruction, which is just a cycle of this universe. So like if people understood the concepts rather than just getting caught up in the term, it'll be much more beneficial for them. And that's where the Vedic thing comes in. It's more about understanding and realizing the concept, just than throwing terms around which no one understands and people get all confused what that is. That's the whole point.
My father said that you have to ask a silly question every day, because then you become wise when you get old.
Yes.
So is the point to be on earth, be grounded, try to do the right things to reach another level?
Yes, and most important thing is how to use this body. Because you have to use it. Because everyone who's born with one has to do some actions with it, right? Like what actions do, like what we teach, like what I'm teaching through Lotus Ocean is centering. How to keep the body centered and to speak from the center of the mouth. and all of these things, which is a functionality of this body which you have to do in order to keep it, disease free. A lot of things, like positive things on a practical level, on a mental level, on an emotional level, or any level. You can use this instrument properly and gain a lot of benefits actually. So that is the basic starting point everyone should have, and that should be just common basic knowledge for everyone on earth. Yes.
But where do we go after this existence? What do we know about that?
Yeah, that is there in Vedic. A lot of things are there in Vedic, but that's like I call secondary and tertiary stuff. And I don't want people to go into secondary and tertiary stuff unless primary stuff is done. Just like, in school also, they don't allow you to go to grade 10 immediately or grade 12 before you do grade 4, 5, 6. They don't allow you to do that. So it should be the same in this as well, that you do the primary things. And then you are ready for understanding those kind of things as well, which you can understand right here on earth. Like, all of that is possible. Everything. The thing is, it's best to start from the basics, from ground level, because what happens is, like, if you have a foundation, for example, then only you can build a house. If foundation is not there, the house will just collapse. And that's what is happening with majority of people. They don't have any foundation, and they're trying to build a house of understanding, of clarity about this universe. Where are we? Who are we? What is all this? And the whole thing. Everything is like a construction which is being done without any basis. Okay, so that's my point is, let's build the foundation. Okay, and then we can work on it. And I think human body internally also has a lot of things. It's a very advanced machine, much more advanced than people think it is. It's more advanced than all the machines, the rest of the machines here on earth. And you can get the answers, real answers, if you just understand this machine properly. So yeah.
You say it's simple, but to me it's difficult to understand.
Yeah.
But are we talking about being someplace to be wiser or do the right things?
Yeah.
And is the next level somewhere else, or is it a state of mind?
I don't know. The thing is, this is like this plane is like a school. Okay, it's like what kids will understand as a computer game level. Kids play a lot of computer games, so they understand things in that level. Like you have a level 1 of a computer game. Once you finish that level, then you are allowed to go to level 2. Otherwise, you can't go to level 2, right? Okay, so the thing is that this is level 1 game. Okay, you have been given this instrument. Okay, physical body. Now you have to show that you can use this instrument properly. Okay, once you show that, you'll be allowed to go out of this game and you'll be given another body in another plane. Okay, so but for that you have to show that. If you don't show that, you will have to start again with this human body. And again, the whole game, you grow up, you that thing, you learn, like, you get consciousness, then you old age, die again, and then the cycle.
Back to ground school again.
Back to ground school again, and it just keeps on going unless you one time actually show that you can use this physical body properly. That's all there is. This is the, because whole point is controlling the physical body. Whole point of this whole game is nothing else but controlling the physical body. You don't have to control your mind, because mind you can't control, because you can't even see it, you can't touch it, feel it. It runs everywhere. It's not controllable. Okay, it's not in your hands. Okay, but what is in your hands is your body, right? Where you move it, what you do with it, everything. Like if I lift my hand, it'll lift. If I put it down, it'll go down. It is in my hands. Everything I do with this thing is in my hands. So that is a thing under your control. Only thing under your control. So you have to control it. So this is basically showing that you can control this body, which is very easy to control, because it's not fast. It doesn't run away from you, just like mind does, right? Body is very slow, very, not a single thing happens with it unless you sort of will it, So I would say it's a very, like how kids have a bicycle when they first learn how to ride a bicycle. They have these wheels, training wheels.
Yeah, I had one.
Yeah, okay, you had training wheels, right? So this body, human body, is like a body with training wheels. Okay, it's so simple sort of thing. Like and people should be able to do this. It's not so hard to control this body, and people can try to control it for different things. Like in sports and different things. And they sort of try to master it. in a certain kind of direction, you know. And I'm saying that's not required. That's for gaining something in this world, right? You gain trophies or money or awards or whatever you gain from controlling your body in certain ways, right? But there's a control of the body which is taught in the Vedic, which leads you out of the cycle of birth and death. Okay, so that is a more higher goal than gaining some trophy here or some award or something like that, you know. So that's the focus in the Vedic, that you get out of this level 1 game rather than gaining accolades in this game, you know. That's not the point. So that is the whole thing. Discipline, like, you know, discipline of the body, basically, finally it comes down to the basic thing is discipline of the body. If you control the body, you can understand a lot of things, a lot of clarity can come to you about the whole existence if you just control your body.
When we were leaving Norway, the weather forecast said it's going to rain at 11 o'clock today, which is now in your garden.
Yes.
And when we came here, now the sun is up.
Yes.
How did you do that?
Well, the thing is, the human body, according to the Vedic, you know, not by the schools, is made up of the 5 elements. It's ether, air, fire, water and earth. Okay. Now, if you look around ourselves, in nature, what is there? There's earth, there's air, there's sky, okay, there's fire, there's sun, right, which you pointed out, the fire here, okay, and we have the same elements in the sky, like ether. So we have the same elements around us, you know, exactly. So as inside, so outside, like, so human body is made of the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Technology is the same. Okay, so obviously if this machine is built of the same thing, it must have some connection with what is outside. Okay, so if you can regulate your own machine, right, to a certain extent, then you can regulate what is outside too. So that's why, for example, in Egypt, like if the Nile did not flood in time, you know, which caused all the crops to happen, the Pharaoh would be taken out, because it was Pharaoh's responsibility that Nile flooded at the same time every year. So no, you couldn't be the king until you could control the weather. Okay. In ancient times, that was the rule, you know, because people depend on that. Okay. And right now, weather can be very bad in a lot of places in the world, and that thing is because human beings are not in connection, and human beings are doing things which are anti-nature. Okay. So the weather will also respond to whatever human beings do. That happens anyways, you know. So within a human like body and being, there is a capacity to connect with nature, because it's bit of the same substance, exactly, you know. So it's a technology, like you can consider it technology, and this is a technology, and I'm just using the technology to what it can do. Like just like you use the phone to communicate and to messages or whatever, you know.
Well, it was a good answer, but it didn't really answer my question. Just minutes before you arrived, the sun came up. Did you fix that?
I mean, it's just if within my body, if I have a connection with nature, and if I will something, then now outside will respond to that. You know, just like you will something with your body, right? Your body does it, right? Like something, you raise your hand, it does it. Okay. You just take this concept slightly further, just further, slightly. You can build something for your own body and for the nature around you too.
Well, is this a form of energy then?
Yes, it is.
That flows?
Yes.
Okay.
It is very scientific and technological, actually. You know, there is a whole basis for this thing. But we're not going to go into that. We don't have time for the whole, you know, like that will be a too advanced a thing, you know. But for now, it should be just known that it can be done with the human body, because it's built of the same elements, and there can be resonance between your body and outside. Yeah.
We are both musicians.
Yes.
So we create music.
Yes.
And that's an energy flowing from our body to the instrument.
Yes.
But you take it out to nature as well, and communicate with nature with your instruments, with your guitars and all. And here we see you playing in nature with your electrical guitar. And it's a thunderstorm.
Yes.
Did you make that thunderstorm?
Yeah. So basically, because electricity is what? Sound, right? Sound is frequency, vibration, right? Now, you can, like for example, in music, you understand. If you make certain kind of, like scales, like a minor scale, right? It makes people melancholy and sad, right? Then you have major chords, like, which lift people up suddenly, like, like the mood is more up with a major scale, right? So what is happening? It's having an effect on your human emotions and mind, right? Like music, directly. Every time you can actually control how people feel just by the chords you use, right? This is a very simple,
Of course.
thing. Now, if you can use the same concept for nature, right? Then what kind of vibration you are sending to that? And once your instrument is tuned with nature, first you have to have your instrument tuned, not the guitar. Your instrument has to be tuned, and then you use any external instrument like a guitar, electric guitar or something like that. Electric guitar, because electricity has many more options. Acoustic guitar always has the same sound. No matter who plays it, it's basically limited. But when you use electric guitar, you get so many different varieties of sounds you can make. And then using your own tuning with nature, you can use that electricity to produce an effect in nature.
Yes, so the summary is you tune yourself.
Yes.
You tune your guitar through that.
Yeah, through that.
And then you communicate with nature.
And that tuning will not be the same tuning as the normal notes, like, the 440 or 432 even. A440 or A432. You can tune in different frequencies completely. So when I tune guitar, I don't tune it in normal frequencies, at all. So it is what I feel, my body feels is the right tuning, for the situation or for the effect which I want to create.
Yes, but if I did that,
Yes.
and a thunderstorm came,
Yeah.
it would be a bit scary to me.
Yeah.
Why isn't it scary to you?
It's not because you already tuned that thing. You are not scared of nature anymore in that way. Because if tuning creates resonance, you become one with it. When you become one with it, why will you be scared of it? Fear is only when there is a separation, right? Separation creates the fear.
Then the key must be that we have lost connection with nature then. And
Obviously,
that's what we have to
we have not
return to.
Yeah, we have not tuned the instrument. We tune guitars.
Good picture.
To certain kind of frequencies, which have been told to us, tune it in this. Okay, but it's not, you don't know why you're tuning it to that. But you just do, But you have not tuned your own instrument properly. And I don't think there's any point playing any instrument until you have tuned your instrument properly, which is your body. There's no point. Like, I think it's a waste of time and energy, I would say, on earth.
And one very strange question is that when I read Facebook, your name is popping up all over the place, connected to signs on the sky like rainbow, the moon, circle around the moon, every kind of weather signal, and they give you the credit for creating them.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't think they're giving me the credit. They're just noticing these things, at least for the first time. They're paying attention to nature, right? People don't pay attention to nature usually. And with me, a lot of rainbows have happened in my life. Like thousands of rainbows have been documented around me, which I don't think anybody else on earth has that many pictures with rainbow on this earth right now. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I've seen them. It's a lot of them.
So it's like, and if it's not documented, then people will say you're just saying it, right? It's not really happening. How people are skeptical in this day and age. You have to prove everything.
Yes.
You can't just say something and people will. It's not a matter of believing. This is the age of, everything has to be like right in front of people, and the technology is there to capture it right now. Earlier, like 30 years ago, like nobody went around with a camera even, right? Like nobody had a camera, right? Now everybody has a mobile and everybody can take shots anytime. So we're living in that kind of time as well, where this is possible. So like if I've had many rainbows and many things, so people associate that with me. Now if they are doing lotus social meditation and they look out of the window and they suddenly see a rainbow, so that's like biofeedback. They think, okay, they're doing something right. They're also seeing something in the sky. They're seeing a sign, right? Which gives them confidence to move forward, right? So, something nice happens and you're doing something and you get some like visual, actual nature feedback, which I call biofeedback, so then that's good. Like, so obviously you will give some sort of, let's say, acknowledgement to the being who has taught you that. That's just a way of acknowledging, and you're acknowledging everything. You're acknowledging your teacher, you're acknowledging the nature, you're acknowledging everything at the same time, which is a good attitude. Yeah.
But the people around you, all over the world, call you divine.
Yes.
How do you cope with that?
Right. I think I actually don't care about the label, really, because my name is just my name. I have not changed my name, like I said, like I've not changed my name or anything like that. And labels will be given to people if you start doing something in this world. Anything, some label will be given to you, right? I don't care about the label. I think I defined the term divine actually in my book for people. So since I defined the term for them, they might associate that term with me, because I'm giving them something for them to evolve themselves, right? So I'm helping them in some way, right? And they're showing gratitude for it, and beings have different ways of showing gratitude for, like if they are helped in some way or they're feeling better, in some way, like, people bring gifts to some people, if the doctor treats them or, for them that is God at the time, right? Like, because he cured you, right? Like, and things like that. So the point is that all of these things will happen in the human existence and human thing, but the point is to actually understand the things and apply it to yourself. That's my main focus. Like, it's nothing to do with like if I tell someone something, right, and they practice it, that's their practice, they're doing the work, right? They're the ones who are putting in the work, and they will be the ones benefiting from it. So finally it is nothing to do with me in the end, like that process, whatever their process is in the end. So like that's okay. Like, people have to be known somehow or somewhere, and something happens in this world. That's the way it is. So that's okay. Like, I don't care about that much. Yeah.
But isn't it okay not to understand? Why do we have to understand everything? Why don't we accept things as we see them?
Accepting is good as long as you work from that point. You accept reality as it is, and then you work from that point. So, and obviously, if you don't increase your understanding, then there will be a thing called confusion, okay, which is a very problematic thing, because once you're confused, you can't act properly.
As far as I know, one of your first books about astrology is very famous around the world.
Yes.
Explain to me why the planets and the stars and the moon and everything has significance to every human being. Why?
I think there is a principle in this multiverse which is called as above, so below. Okay, so we are on a terrestrial doing some actions here, and there is a sky above us, and there are these celestial bodies moving, okay, in the sky. Now, there is a correlation between these movements and human affairs on Earth, so which is like a mirroring, right? So point is that as above, so below. So what these things are happening out there, and this thing is like a clock. It's like synchronized, the whole thing. So by these, the ancients knew, like when these movements happen, like Vedic rishis they were called, they knew that what would they do on Earth, what would they do in people's lives, what would they do on affairs on Earth, and all of this was correlated and mapped basically. So that mapping is called astrologic, star logic. Okay, so was my book was on 27 such things, not 12 signs. There are 27 such constellations and what effect they have in human existence. So, which is again a Vedic concept, because Jyotish, which is Vedic astrology, is part of Vedic knowledge. There are 4 Veds, and then there are 6 like side things which come out of that, and Jyotish is one of them. So it's one of the branches of knowledge in the Vedic, basically. So, and since I'm into everything Vedic, I had to cover that too.
So
yeah.
Every single human being
Yes.
are connected to all those things.
Yes.
Then everything is connected to everything then.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that I think even like a slogan has become very popular in the last 40, 50 years, since 1960s in the West, like, oh, everything is connected. You know, that has been since the hippies came and the flower power happened, you know, that has become,
I know, I live there.
yeah, yes. So it has become very that thing, you know, but like how it is connected, in what way it is connected, the nitty-gritty of it, the detail of it, the reality of it, that is the important factor. There's good to say one thing as a whole, like, yeah, it is, but how, in what way, and what does that mean for me, what does it mean, what do I have to do, and all of these questions and details need answering, you know, and need working on. So that's the detail.
But you're sitting in the middle of this.
Yeah.
Your thoughts and your messages are floating around the world.
Yes.
How is it to be in the middle and see this happening? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like very like simply like practical about it, actually. Like, you know, that is practically it should be the case. I mean, everyone, my point is that everyone should have one time this basic knowledge, everyone on earth, like access to it. Just like you have access to water, food, like access, like just access to it. Whether you take it or not, that's up to you. Anyone, it's up to everyone, you know, but it should be an option. Like, my problem was that that's not an option right now in this world, you know, as a whole, for people. Like, this knowledge is not like even from the India, whatever yoga and everything which has been gotten to the West is not what I am teaching. Okay. So it's different from that. So whatever I'm teaching is not there. If it was already being taught, I probably won't come out even and say it, because if it is already being done, so what's need for me to come and say it, right? Yeah. You know, just like in music also, if a certain kind of music is being done already, then you don't need to do it, you know, others are doing it already. And if some kind of music which is not being done, or is completely different and new, then only you need to come out and do it, like, you know, and that's my point, really.
But you have to feel something. You see this spreading around.
Yeah.
What do you think when you see country after country, your book is translated to many languages,
Yes.
more and more languages, your listeners are growing.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
mean,
think?
I think this is the start right now, you know, like, I think you know, it should reach everyone, like, you know, and if to reach everyone, it means that there are different languages on earth, then means like needs to go in that local language for people to understand better, then so be it. It should happen, like, right? Why should anyone be left behind because, oh, they were not they don't know English, for example? Okay, so then, yeah, so it should not be the case. So I think it's just a natural progression. I see it as a natural progression of what it should be as a, anyways, like, it should be known to everyone. And, you know, because every culture here on earth has the same Vedic roots. You know, if you take the Nordic mythology, everything, or Egyptian or Aztec or Mayan or anything on Aboriginal or anything around the world, if you take it, it's all the same. Yeah. So
Is your teaching a religion or philosophy?
no, it's neither religion or philosophy. It's just a practical, hands-on approach to life, like, you know, like with using your technology, you know, like instruction manual for the body, basically.
But so, what is the end of it? Is it any end?
And end is like obviously getting out of the game. Like, you know, like, there are a lot of people who don't want to go through the human game again, you know, who are tired of that, because they know this game comes with diseases and all kinds of things. You know, it's not a fun game in that way. You know, it has its Like a lot of things, like a lot of your life, 20 years of your life you sleep, like 20-25% of your life, and then you have to do so many actions, you have to eat, then you have to do other things, and then you can still get diseases and all kinds of problems and stuff, right, in this game, right? It's not the most pleasant game. And there are beings which want more better existence, more knowing existence, more better existence in every way, shape or form in this universe, right? And if those who are seeking it, they should have something to go by, right? They should have some sort of instruction manual to achieve that, basically.
But since you're using technology images here to explain things, when my game says game over, where do I go?
See, that depends on what you've done on your life. Whatever actions you've done in your life, they are all recorded. Everything is being recorded, not just distance cameras. There are cameras up from the skies which are recording every human action. And you go to a department which says, okay, you have done this. Accordingly, you can get this. That's it. So there is a whole system in place, actually, for the spirit. The other body. When you come out of this body, which is the top body, there is so many bodies inside that. It's like Russian dolls. You break the front one, top one, there'll be so many dolls inside. Now those dolls will keep on going. Only the top one will be broken.
Well, I need one soon because this one is starting to get old.
So obviously this one will go away. Like this one will be broken, right? And
it's a shell.
It's a shell, and the others will come out. Now whatever actions you did with this one, accordingly, you will be given the next existence. What kind of shell will you take? And depending on the actions. So understanding this whole process and this game, is the point.
But is it possible to describe what the next existence is?
Yes, it's very possible. Like just like if you take the best of everything out here, if you smell a rose, for example, roses come here in the summer. You feel very nice, right? Yes, it's nice smell, right? Like and there is a thorn, and you click on it, you don't feel good, right? Like it's a pain, pain sensation. No one, but you like to smell the rose, right? So if you take out the thorn and just keep the rose and the nice smell and the soft touch, that's higher existence. And you take out the nasty bits. Okay, so like nasty bit on human experience is growing old, right? That's
Yes, I understand that, but is it eternal or is it an end somewhere?
There is an end. You can get completely out of time even. Finally we have a time loop here. Okay, the whole universe exists within a time loop. You can even get past that in the highest of existences. But you have to start with step one, where you are. You are a human being on earth right now, in this situation, with this body suit, technology suit, right? So you have to start from where you are. You can theorize about anything right now, but you will not achieve that by theorizing. You will achieve anything in this universe by working only.
But when you look at the world, like it is right now, it seems like a long way to go.
It's not because everybody has these suits, body suits, right? Everybody has this human. As long as you have this, you are good to go. Basically, you're good to apply and start. It's not a very that thing. It's a very simple thing. Everybody it's just a matter of education. Right now, we have made an education system which doesn't teach this at school level. That's all. All that will be required for this is that schools will be changed. There'll be new kinds of schools. That's all it'll take. There's nothing much more than that. It's not a very big thing, but and I think the world will go towards that anyways now, because this system is going to collapse.